What's in a name? Jeanne, Munesato.
What's in a name? Does your name describe your essence? Maybe we change our name and create our own identity. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. This is a story about my dad, how he changed his name and what it meant. He created his own identity, blending together two cultures, Japanese and American. He lived a life of humility and strength. He was a second-generation Japanese American. This generation is named Nisei. He was the youngest in a family of 6 children named Fumiko, Yaiko, Sumie, Masaharu, Yutaka, Isamu. My father's name was Isamu. It stands for courage and bravery. When he was in junior high, the registrar thought his name, Isamu, was a girl's name, similar to Isabel. And he was assigned to a girls' gym class. Taking a pen, the PE teacher crossed out the letter I at the beginning of his name, crossed out the letter U at the end, leaving the letters S-A-M. Now you are Sam, an American name, simple, easy to remember. Did that mean he was no longer brave? Yes, he was brave. He showed it by his actions. As a young man, Sam was handsome. He had thick black hair, large brown eyes, and a flashing smile. Imagine if Frank Sinatra had been Japanese, he would have looked like my dad. In Sinatra's song, Love and Marriage, I heard, try, try, try to separate them. It's an illusion. Sam met my mom, and they planned to marry. Because of the war, they had to be separated. However, across the sea, they were joined at the heart with thoughts for each other. The marriage had to be postponed. In 1942, President Franklin Roosevelt authorized the imprisonment of over 120,000 Japanese and Japanese Americans, citizens who were born and raised in this country. Sam's family was incarcerated in Poston, Arizona, one of 10 wartime relocation camps. The name camp is inaccurate. Wooden shacks were drafty and were shared with multiple families. There was no privacy. Weather conditions were harsh, alternating between unbearable heat and shivering cold. Barbed wire encircled the camp. It was a desert, not vacation paradise. Sam was creative and liked to make things by hand. He made a gift for my 5-year-old cousin Ruby while she was in camp. He carved a heart from the tip of a plastic toothbrush, inscribed her name on it, and sent it to camp. Ruby remembers holding the heart, rubbing it with her fingers, and thinking how special it was because it was made by her Uncle Sam. America's symbol, Uncle Sam called out, that distinguished figure with bushy brows, silver gray hair, and strange suit, a stars and stripes, pointed his finger saying, I want you. And my father was drafted into the U.S. Army. He fought for his country in Europe while feeling concern for his family. When the war was over, he returned home to a town hostile to Japanese Americans. He was no longer the hero. He was called Jack. He had proved his loyalty by courageously serving in the army, but the bigger challenge was gaining acceptance in his own community. My dad was silent about his war experience, but he served as a role model for these Japanese values for his children. Onryo, which means humility, and gamen, which means internal strength, perseverance. So what's their name? After all, we are a nation of immigrants. Many people moved to this country and changed their names. I noticed affection between my parents in their later years, holding hands, going to the mall, in a restaurant, at doctor's appointments. And I told my mom, you two are so cute and adorable, you're always holding hands. And she said, I have to. I don't want him to fall and break a hip. Growing up, we spoke only English in the home. When my dad turned 80, he had a secret. I discovered he spoke Japanese. Do we reach an age when we don't care anymore what people think? My dad finally felt comfortable with his Japanese-American heritage and no longer felt the need to hide it. I am proud of my father. I embrace his family values of humility and strength. To quote Shakespeare, what's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Family values are the essence of your identity, regardless of the name.